Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. Today we're in our L-39ZA and we're looking at Multicrew. Now before we actually go and fly the aircraft, I just want to show you an important setting that's set here in the mission editor for each mission. So if I click on my L-39 there and I click on this last option here, you can see that I have an aircraft control priority. So when we're deciding who has the control of the aircraft, the instructor or the trainee, it's the method in which we can take control is set here. So we can either set it as pilot. In this case, the pilot or the trainee can take control of the jet without requesting permission, but the instructor cannot. If we have instructor, then the instructor, the rear-seated pilot, can take control of the jet without asking permission, but the front trainee cannot. If we have ask always, then both pilots, the front and the back, have to ask permission before they take control. And if we have equally responsible, neither of the pilots have to ask permission before they can take control of the jet. We found that a little bit confusing before, but it turns out this is where you set it, and it's identical or similar in all of the multi-crew planes, so C-101, Yak, the CE-2 and what have you. Right, so that's that. Let's go and jump in the plane. Okay, we're in game now, so we're going to show selecting the L-39. So the first thing to say is before you try and get in an L-39, always go back to spectators first. If you've already been on a plane, if you move from one plane into another multi-crew plane, it tends to mess it up. It just seems to. So we're going to choose this number 8 here. I'm going to be the pilot 1, so that's the pilot, and you're going to be the instructor, aren't you, Stahl? So he's tried to join my second seat there as instructor. I can accept or deny him. I'm going to click on him, accept him, and then I'm not actually in yet, Stahl. Okay, I'm in now. As a default, I've got control of the plane. I can move, the control surfaces and press the buttons and stuff like that. Confirm that you do not have control of the plane, Star.
I don't have control.
Right, so first thing we do is take off and then start doing things.
Okay, I also do have flap control. There's a couple of things that basically supersede your controls. I think gear and flaps are included in that.
Right, so you don't have stick control, but you do have gear, flaps, brake, stuff like that then, control.
Yeah, for example, if my gear stick is not in neutral, then you can't use yours.
Right, we'll try that out in a second. Let me just get airborne. Okay, Charles, could you be able to put my gear up, please?
I just put it down, try to put yours up.
I'm trying to put mine up now, and the lever's gone up. Let's just see if they do go up. The lever's gone up, but they are not actually going up.
I'll retract the gear.
Yep, so you had command of that. Right, regards flaps, do you want to put my flaps up?
Yeah, try that, and retract it.
Yep, roger that. Right, so I'm up and I've got main control of this. Well, I've got control of the stick at least, anyway, stick and rudder. It's a training plane essentially at the end of the day, and so it's here to teach the pilot, and I am the pilot or the trainee, how to fly. So Stahl can also, as well as having some control, even though I've got control, he can turn off instruments. Do you want to start going into that, Stahl?
Yeah, so for example, I can turn off your compass.
Stand by. I'm going to try turning. Yes, so I'm moving around now and my HSI is no longer turning. So that is an example of a broken HSI.
Then one thing that you're not going to see as easily is I can turn off your ARC system, so that's your radio comp.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'll have to take your word for that one, Star. I don't want to go into all that now. What about ADI? Can you mess around with that?
Yeah, I can turn off 2 separate axes for that, so the longitudinal and the lateral axis. So turn off the longitudinal one right now.
Yep. No, it's working. ADI is working.
So one of them should be turning off pitch, the other one roll, I think.
Yes, yeah, it's not. Yeah, so the roll is working, the pitch is not working. It says I'm 60 degrees in the air, which I'm obviously not. So that's the thing to bear in mind.
So I'll switch it over now. Now the roll should not work.
The roll is not working, correct.
One thing to note, by the way, while you do not see what's going on, I still have full function of my instruments in there.
Roger that. Okay, any other instruments you know of that you can change?
Yeah, I can fuck with your pitot tube.
Oh, God.
So that should be a broken speedo now. There's actually 2 different settings for that.
Stand by. Yep, so I'm still going 300 knots apparently.
Yeah, so not an expert on how exactly pitot tubes work specifically, but there's like 3 different pressure tubes, I think.
Yep.
And I can switch off 2 of them, and to turn it on again I actually need to leave it in the intermediary position for 30 seconds, otherwise I'll break.
Roger. Okay.
I can also disarm your bombs if I feel like it.
Disarm my bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to take your word for that one, Sean.
I do have a couple mixed circuit breakers that I don't think are technically meant to be turned off, but this, for example, should turn off several of the instruments.
Roger.
Including
yeah.
UDI.
Yeah,
So
I've lost everything. I've lost all... Oh, yep.
yeah, problem with that is if I use that also fucks me over, so that's probably a bit dangerous to do. Other than that, there is still one more fun thing I can do to you, and that's that.
Oh, not the IFR hood. No one likes an IFR hood, Stahl. We're going to have to do a video on this, you realise that, don't you? Once we learn how to fly it, that is. Once PMG's fixed, anyway. Can you take my hood off, please, Stahl?
Can you not crash in the meantime?
I don't know what instruments are working. Okay, fine.
There you go.
Use my instrument. Super cap, super instruments. Goddamn IFR hood. Okay, that's that. Anything else you want to go through?
I think that's the main things. I mean, I do have some emergency controls of flaps and gear extension in emergency situation and such, but other than that, that's it.
Roger, okay, can you now request control and you can take us in for a smooth landing? And it will be a smooth landing. So Charles has pressed the J key, that has asked for permission to give him control. I've clicked allow, and he now has control of the plane. I don't, so if I move my stick around, I have no more control. Now, it only asked me because of those settings that we set in the mission editor. So take note of that. If we're turned to equally responsible, then it would not have asked me, it would just take control, which would be annoying. Right, take us in for landing, Charlie Wally. Oh, spooky. Can you see me looking at you?
Negative, I cannot see your head.
I get to look at all kinds of things I don't usually get to look at, like all the cockpit. Got a beeping radio attitude.
It's just a weird old thing.
I could make such better videos if you always flew me around. We'd do these pan shots all the time. Right, that's Multicrew. Anything you want to add to that, Starly?
Negative. Now go out and troll your friends.
Go out and troll the shit out of some people on public server. Hope that helps and see you.